One of the following plants has two parts which can be eaten as food. This plant is... Excellent choice. Mustard is the right answer.
The solvent can be separated by dash. The solute can be obtained by dash. The solvent.
Smart pick. Distillation, evaporation is the correct choice, which is a property of matter that you cannot observe just by looking at an object. Correct. Temperature is the right answer. If the picture is drawn using a pencil, then it can be erased, hence is example of. On track. Reversible physical change is the correct answer. Adding baking soda and vinegar together and it fizzes and creates carbon dioxide. Nice selection. Chemical is the correct and valid answer. All reversible changes are physical, but all physical changes are not reversible. Well picked. True is the correct answer. The new substances formed during or after the chemical reaction are known as dash. Nicely done. Products is a solid answer. Look at the statements below. Which one is an example of chemical change? Good job. Your answer burning of paper works well here. While making salt from seawater, dash process is used. It involves dash change. Well done. Evaporation, reversible is the right choice. In a dash change, a new substance is formed. Example, conversion of milk to curd. Good thinking. Chemical is the right answer. Formation of an image on a photographic film is change dash causes this change. You're right. Electricity is the correct answer. Which of the following is an irreversible change and does not require any heat? Valid point. Breaking glass bowl is true. You have by mistake spilled ink on your notebook. Can this change be reversed? Exactly. No makes sense. And it is right choice. A chemical change occurs when there is a dash reaction between the substances. Well reasoned. Chemical is the correct choice. Which of the following is an example of both physical and irreversible change? Correct response. Cutting of paper is the most accurate answer. A sugar solution was prepared by adding sugar to water. Identify the solute. You got it? Your choice sugar is right. Woolen yarn to knitted sweater is a reversible process. Find true or false. Strong choice. True is the right answer. A seed grows to form a seedling and further a plant. This is a dash change. Nice work. You chose slow and it is correct. The solution in which no more solute can be added is called dash solution. Right choice. Saturated is the best answer. If a new substance is formed, would this be a physical or chemical change? Bravo. Chemical is the answer. During condensation and evaporation of water, the dash of water changes. Solid response. State is a valid choice. Change only in shape, size, appearance or state is known as dash change. Great job. Physical is the accurate answer. New substances with different molecules get formed in a physical change. You chose false, and it is correct. Which of the following is a sign that a chemical reaction has occurred? Right again. Formation of a gas is a valid answer. In which of the following changes did the ripening of fruits derives?
Great thinking. Desirable change is the right choice.
Is heating sugar to make caramel a reversible or irreversible change? Perfect. Irreversible is the correct choice.
The process where water changes into a vapor after heating is called.
Clear logic. Your choice evaporation is sound and 100% true. A change may occur by dash a substances or by dash it with some other. Smart move. Heating, mixing is an accurate answer. The change that take place in a longer duration of time are called as sharp thinking. Slow change is the right choice. Changes that lead to the formation of new substances are called dash. Excellent. Chemical change is a brilliant choice. Folding of paper is a dash change, while burning it is a dash change. Smart move. Physical, chemical is an accurate answer. You fill the balloon with too much air. It bursts. Is it reversible? Right again. No is a valid answer. Ice cream to molten ice cream. Is this change reversible? Nice work. You chose yes, and it is correct. When you break a glass of water, can it change back by its own shape? Nicely done. False is a solid answer. Wet clothes to dry clothes. Is this change reversible? You got it. Your choice yes is right. The process of converting solid directly into gas is known as dash. Sharp thinking. Sublimation is the right choice. And dash, change which cannot be brought back to its original state. Correct. Irreversible is the right answer. The process where the liquid changing into solid is called dash. Strong choice. Freezing is the right answer. Changes in size and shape are examples of dash, changes in matter. Well reasoned. Physical is the correct choice. Can a same substance undergo both physical and chemical changes? Exactly. Yes makes sense, and it is right choice. Reversible change is the change in which the change is temporary. On track. True is the correct answer. Is heating sugar to make caramel a physical or chemical change? Excellent. Chemical is a brilliant choice. Which one of the following is an example of irreversible change? Good job. Your answer burning of wax works well here. In which of the following changes did the water cycle derives? Or good thinking. Reversible change is the right answer. We can change cold milk to hot milk. Is this reversible or not? Great job. Yes is the accurate answer. Change in which we can get back to original substance is called right choice. Reversible change is the best answer. Raw egg to boiled eggs. Is this change is reversible? Clear logic. Your choice, no, is sound and 100% true. Dash. Changes are defined as the changes that are useful to us. Bravo. Desirable is the answer. Straight spring to a coiled string. Is this reversible or not?
You're right. Yes is the correct answer.
Preeti decided to make lemon juice. What could be the solvent? Valid point. Water is true. The liquid in a thermometer dash as the temperature increases.
Smart pick. Expands is the correct choice.
In photosynthesis, carbon dioxide and water are converted into.
Nice selection. Glucose is the correct and valid answer.
Spreading of viral infections like COVID-19 is a dash change. Excellent choice. Fast is the right answer.
Evaporation is a physical change. It will occur only when dash.
Well picked. Heat is supplied is the correct answer. Which of the following would be considered a physical change? Great thinking. Cutting paper is the right choice. Reversible changes can change back to its original form dash. Well done. True is the right choice. Rubber band is an example of reversible change, true or false. Perfect. True is the correct choice. The changes that occur over a long period of time are called. Correct response. Slow changes is the most accurate answer. A dash change affects the form or appearance of a substance. Solid response. Physical is a valid choice. Conversion of a solid to liquid by heating is called fusion. You chose true, and it is correct. What is the other name of contraction and expansion changes? You got it. Your choice surrounded changes is right. Conversion of a liquid to vapor by heating is called dash. Great job. Evaporation is the accurate answer. Ice melts to form water. What is the cause of this change? Bravo, heat is the answer. Of the changes below, which is not an irreversible change? Nicely done. Melting is a solid answer. Which of the following examples shows living things grow? Good. Good job. Your answer child into an adult works well here. We can make paneer from milk. Is this process reversible? Correct response. No is the most accurate answer. Burning wax brings about changes in the molecules of wax. Sharp thinking. True is the right choice. Temperature at which a solid starts melting is called its right choice. Melting point is the best answer. Is the burning a wax candle a slow change or fast change? Well reasoned. Fast change is the correct choice. Making of an aeroplane by paper folding is an example of. Excellent. Reversible is a brilliant choice. When ice melts to form water, then a change occurs in its. Smart move. State is an accurate answer. Batter to Edley. Is this change is reversible? Excellent choice. No is the right answer. When the iron blade is on the wooden handle, it is fitted. Exactly. By heating, then cooling makes sense, and it is right choice. Pick the change that can be reversed from the following. Great thinking. Melting of ghee is the right choice. The changes that take place on their own are called dash. Perfect. Natural changes is the correct choice. Change in state of matter is a dash physical change. Nice selection. Reversible is the correct and valid answer. Changing in physical properties of a material is called. You're right. Physical change is the correct answer. Freezing of water is the example of dash kind of change. Strong choice. Physical change is the right answer. The falling of leaves from trees is a reversible change. Smart pick. False is the correct choice. Melting of butter is an example of irreversible change. On track. False is the correct answer. Great Belt Bridge in Denmark expands -m in summer. Correct. 4.7 is the right answer. Deforestation is an irreversible or reversible change. Well done. Irreversible change is the right choice. Can we get the salt back, which is dissolved is water? Right again? Yes is a valid answer. Expansion of iron on heating is which kind of change? You chose both and it is correct. Which of the following is our irreversible change? Valid point. All of these is true. Grand Canyon is formed due to continuous dash change. Solid response. Physical change is a valid choice. Is burning of wood reversible or irreversible change? Clear logic. Your choice irreversible change is sound and 100% true. The expanding of matter when it is heated is known as. Well picked. Thermal expansion is the correct answer. The weather and temperature doesn't change every day. Good thinking. False is the right answer. Solubility of solutes with a decrease in temperature. Nice work. You chose decreases and it is correct. Chemical changes are mostly reversible and temporary. Bravo, false is the answer. How is the metal rim of a wooden wheel made smaller? Excellent. Heating then cooling is a brilliant choice. Is there a new product formed in irreversible change? You got it. Your choice, yes, is right. Woolen yarn to a knitted sweater, can we reverse it? Nice work. You chose yes, and it is correct. Raw egg to boiled egg, can we reverse the changes? Great job. No is the accurate answer. When metals are heated, their molecules dash energy. Well reasoned. Gain absorb is the correct choice. Which of these is an irreversible physical change? You chose cutting of wood, and it is correct. Which one of the following is a beneficial change? Good job. Your answer repinning of fruit works well here. Which of the following change will show expansion? Correct. Heating of iron is the right answer. Which of the followings are non-flowering plants? Exactly. Mushroom makes sense, and it is right choice. Example of reversible changes is tearing of paper. Clear logic. Your choice false is sound and 100% true. What type of change is the bursting of a cracker? Right again. Irreversible change is a valid answer. What are the changes that can be reversed called? Smart move. Reversible changes is an accurate answer. Fizzing, foaming, and burning are all examples of solid response. Chemical change is a valid choice. Formation of paneer from milk is the change that correct response. Can't be reversed is the most accurate answer. Burning of firecrackers is the example for dash. You're right. Fast changes is the correct answer. Which of these is a result of a physical change? Nicely done. A solution is a solid answer. Melting, boiling, evaporation, and condensation are excellent choice. Physical change is the right answer. When a metal rim is fitted on a wood, it is first valid point. Expanded then contracted is true. A change in the size, shape, or state of matter. Great thinking. Physical change is the right choice. You boil water, it evaporates. Is it reversible? On track. Yes is the correct answer. Increase in the volume of substances on heating. Perfect. Expansion is the correct choice. Wet clothes to dirty clothes, can we reverse it? Nice selection. Yes is the correct and valid answer. Pressure is equal to the force per unit second. Right choice. False is the best answer. Cow dung to biogas, is this reversible process? Smart pick. No is the correct choice. Is melting of ice a physical reversible change? Strong choice. Yes is the right answer. Read each set of terms and identify the odd set. Sharp thinking. Plant, vegetable, buttermilk is the right choice. The black material for repairing road is well done. Heated is the right choice. A baby growing into an adult is an example of good thinking. Slow and irreversible change is the right answer. Dash changes are usually impossible to reverse. Well picked. Chemical changes is the correct answer.
Which of the following is a human-made change?
Nice selection. Weaving of cloth is the correct and valid answer. Metal rim is fixed to the wooden cartwheel by correct. Heating metal rim is the right answer. The dash balloon changes when we blow the air. Smart pick. Shape is the correct choice. What type of change is the lighting of a bulb? Smart move. Reversible change is an accurate answer. Growth in size of the body of an organism is a sharp thinking. Physical and permanent change is the right choice. Grain to its flour, is this reversible or not? Clear logic. Your choice? No is sound and 100% true. Changes that occur around us can be grouped as right choice. Either reversible or irreversible is the best answer. When a bud changes into a flower, it undergoes well reasoned. All of the above is the correct choice. To obtain salt, which of these methods is used? Excellent choice. Evaporation is the right answer. Meal rim made slightly than the wooden wheel. On track. Smaller is the correct answer. Is growth of plants a slow change? Yes or no? Great job. Yes is the accurate answer. The burning of wood is an irreversible change. Solid response. True is a valid choice. Is blowing out a balloon a change or stimuli? Well done. Change is the right choice. Which of the following cannot cause change? Right again. Rubbing hands together is a valid answer. Melting of ice is an example of dash change. You got it? Your choice reversible is right. Melting of a popsicle is a reversible change. Perfect. True is the correct choice. When atoms are supplied with heat, vibration. Excellent. Increases is a brilliant choice. Solids expand on heating and dash on cooling. Nice work. You chose contract and it is correct. What type of change is the rusting of iron? Nicely done. Chemical. Irreversible is a solid answer. Is growing food in fields a natural changes? Well picked. No is the correct answer. Growth is a change that cannot be reversed. Bravo. True is the answer. Milk changes to curd. Can this be reversed? Exactly. No makes sense and it is right choice. Bud to flower. Is it reversible? Valid point. No is true. If we burn a candle, the height of a candle. You're right. Decreased is the correct answer. The changes that occur in nature are called. You chose natural changes, and it is correct. During rusting, iron is converted into dash. Strong choice. Iron oxide is the right answer. Evaporation of water is a reversible change. Good thinking. True is the right answer. Which of the following contracts the least? Great thinking. All contract equally is the right choice. Is sour milk a physical or chemical change? Correct response. Chemical is the most accurate answer. Metal rim expands and fits into the wheel. Good job. Your answer on heating works well here. Which of these is not a reversible change? Right again. Cookie dough to cookie is a valid answer. Is breaking of pencil a reversible change? Valid point. No is true. What is an example of a reversible change? Solid response. Freezing water is a valid choice. You cut a piece of wood. Is it reversible? Great job. No is the accurate answer. Telephones or electric wires are made of a. Excellent. Metal is a brilliant choice. Which of the following cannot be reversed? Great thinking. Roti is the right choice. How many types of common changes are there? Perfect. 14 is the correct choice. Changing of milk to curd is a dash change. Nicely done. Chemical is a solid answer. What do you think irreversible change is? Excellent choice. Permanent change is the right answer. Is the souring of milk a chemical change? Correct. Yes is the right answer. Rusting of iron is an irreversible change.
Exactly. True makes sense, and it is right choice.
Which type of change is growing of plant? Smart pick. Chemical change is the correct choice.
A reversible change is a permanent change. Clear logic. Your choice false is sound and 100% true.
What type of steel is used in pendulums? Nice work. You chose Invar steel, and it is correct.
Setting of curd from milk is dash change. You got it. Your choice slow, chemical and irreversible is right. Irreversible changes cannot go backwards.
Sharp thinking. True is the right choice.
The incense stick has burnt to give off.
Right choice. Both and is the best answer.
Breaking a glass is what kind of change?
Well reasoned. Physical change is the correct choice.
The change of day and night is caused by good thinking. Rotation of the earth is the right answer.
What type of change is boiling of an egg?
On track. All of these is the correct answer.
Chemical changes are always irreversible. You're right. True is the correct answer. Which of these is the smallest particle? Correct response. An atom is the most accurate answer. For making the curd, we should the milk.
Smart move. Heat is an accurate answer.
All the changes in nature are reversible.
You chose false, and it is correct.
All changes takes place due to some dash.
Well picked. Cause is the correct answer.
When heat is removed, vibration of atoms. Nice selection. Decrease is the correct and valid answer. Dash is an example of desirable change.
Well done. Drying of cloths is the right choice. Folding paper is an irreversible change. Strong choice. False is the right answer.
Is digestion of food a chemical change?
Good job. Your answer yes works well here.
Is growth of weeds a desirable change?
Bravo. No is the answer.
Every change has a cause. True or false?
You got it. Your choice true is right.
Which of these is an intervertebrate?
Perfect. Snail is the correct choice.
Cooking of vegetables is a dash change.
You're right. Non-reversible is the correct answer.
Is vaporization and reversible changes?
Sharp thinking. True is the right choice.
When heated air in the balloon expands.
You chose true, and it is correct.
When heat is added to a solid, it dash.
Well done. Expands is the right choice.
Heating metal cannot be reversed.
Correct. False is the right answer.
A change which is permanent in nature.
Solid response. Irreversible is a valid choice.
Which is the opposite of condensation?
Smart move. Evaporation is an accurate answer. Change of seasons is a natural change. Nice selection. Tour is the correct and valid answer.
Substances increase in size of heating.
Right again. True is a valid answer.
Burning of a candle is which change?
Exactly. Both physical and chemical make sense, and it is right choice. How many changes take place around us?
Clear logic? Your choice 6 is sound and 100% true. When increase in temperature matter? Valid point. Expands is true. Chopping wood is what kind of change? Strong choice. Physical change is the right answer. An example of irreversible change is? Well picked. Cooking of food is the correct answer. Bursting of balloon is a slow change. Good job. Your answer no works well here. Dash reacts with oxygen to form rust. On track. Iron is the correct answer. What happens when we heat the metal? Correct response. Metal expands is the most accurate answer. Ripening of a mango is a dash change. Excellent choice. Non-reversible is the right answer. Changes can occur by their own also. Bravo. True is the answer. Is condensation irreversible changes? Excellent. False is a brilliant choice. Melting of wax is a chemical change. Nice work. You chose false, and it is correct. Cooking of rice is a physical change. Right choice. False is the best answer. Baking of chapati is a change that? Smart pick. Cannot be reversed is the correct choice. Folding of a paper is a dash change. Well reasoned. Physical is the correct choice. Which of the following is a cereal? Great thinking. Rice is the right choice. Lighting up of a matchstick is iron. Good thinking. Fast change is the right answer. On heating, water changes into dash. Great job. Vapor is the accurate answer. Which changes are partially similar? Nicely done. Physical and irreversible is a solid answer. Which change cause shrink of object? Perfect. None of these is the correct choice. Do all thermometers contain liquid? Valid point. No is true. Changing liquid to a gas is cold. You chose evaporation, and it is correct. Which is not a property of matter? Excellent. Ice is a brilliant choice. Batter to Edley, can we reverse it? Clear logic. Your choice no is sound and 100% true. Rusting of iron is in dash change. Correct response. Permanent is the most accurate answer. Burning a log is a chemical change. Good thinking. True is the right answer. Is air currents a man-made change? Well reasoned. No is the correct choice. When an object is heated, its size? Well picked. Increases is the correct answer. Cooking of rice is a dash change. Nice selection. Chemical is the correct and valid answer. Is cooking an irreversible change? Right choice. Yes is the best answer. Photosynthesis is an example of a Sharp thinking. Chemical change is the right choice.
Wax melts off candle. Reversible. Correct. No is the right answer. Can you obtain wood from sawdust? Great thinking. No is the right choice. Changes can occur naturally also. Right again. True is a valid answer. Which of these cannot be reversed? Nice work. You chose cutting out airplane and it is correct. Which change should be prevented? Smart pick. Burning of trees is the correct choice. Rusting of iron is an example of. Nicely done. Slow change is a solid answer, which is an irreversible change. Solid response. Cutting paper is a valid choice. The bomb blast is an example of. You're right. Fast change is the correct answer. What are the 4 types of changes? Strong choice. Physical, chemical, irreversible. Reversible is the right answer. A change temporary in nature is. Great job. Reversible is the accurate answer. Reversible change is also known as. On track. Physical change is the correct answer. When object is cooled, its size. Smart move. Decreases is an accurate answer. Best example of chemical change. You got it? Your choice burning of paper is right. A example of undesirable change. Bravo. A person falling sick is the answer. Growth of plants is dash change. Excellent choice. Slow, desirable is the right answer. Heartbeat is a periodic change. Good job. Your answer true works well here. Melting of ice is a dash change. Well done. Reversible is the right choice. Dissolving sugar in water is a. Exactly. Physical change makes sense and it is right choice. On heating a substance it dash. Nice work. You chose expands and it is correct. Chemical change is reversible. Excellent. False is a brilliant choice. In general, on heating metals. You got it? Your choice expand is right. Force can cause change in the. Well reasoned. All of these is the correct choice. Cake batter baked in an oven. Bravo. Chemical change is the answer. Growth of animals and plants. Right choice. Chemical change is the best answer, which is a chemical change. On track. Baking a cake is the correct answer. Blowing air in a balloon is. Smart move. Physical change is an accurate answer. What is irreversible change? Exactly. Permanent change makes sense, and it is right choice. Painting on a paper is a han. Nicely done. Irreversible, physical change is a solid answer. Burning wood is dash change. Smart pick. Irreversible. Chemical is the correct choice. Amoeba is a dash organism. Excellent choice. Unicellular is the right answer. Dash is universal solvent. Good thinking. Water is the right answer. Rotation of fan blade is a... Right again. Periodic change is a valid answer. Objects gain heat and dash. Great thinking. Expand is the right choice. Melting is a process when... You chose ice changes into water, and it is correct. What is the state of ice? Great job. Solid is the accurate answer. A chemical change is dash. Valid point. Permanent is true. Which change causes rain? Well done. Both A and B is the right choice. Examples of slow changes. Solid response. Rusting of iron is a valid choice. Cooking an egg is a dash. Clear logic. Your choice irreversible is sound and 100% true. A change differs by its... You're right. All of these is the correct answer. What is physical change? Correct. All of these is the right answer. Changing milk into curd. Nice selection. Irreversible is the correct and valid answer. We eat dash of cabbage. Strong choice. Leaves is the right answer. When iron is heated it. Good job. Your answer expands works well here. Bending of iron rod is. Correct response. Reversible is the most accurate answer. Heat is a form of dash. Sharp thinking. Energy is the right choice. Digestion of food is a... Well picked. Chemical change is the correct answer. The burning of wood is... Perfect. Irreversible is the correct choice. Liquids expand on dash. Right again. Heating is a valid answer. Burning of candle is... Well done. Both is the right choice. An object expands on... Nicely done. Heating is a solid answer. Substance contract on... Good job. Your answer cooling works well here. Find the odd one out. Excellent choice. Almond fallen in water is the right answer. Melting of water is a... You're right. Irreversible change is the correct answer. Chemical changes are... Bravo. Mostly irreversible is the answer. Substances expand on. Well picked. Heating is the correct answer. Souring of milk is a... Valid point. Chemical change is true. On heating metal rim. Exactly. Expand makes sense and it is right choice. Freezing of water is... Smart move. Reversible change is an accurate answer. We eat roots of dash. Right choice. Radish is the best answer. Rusting of iron is a... Smart pick. Chemical change is the correct choice. What is sublimation? On track. Solid gas is the correct answer. Breaking of a glass. Sharp thinking. Physical change is the right choice. Burning of paper is. Correct response. Irreversible is the most accurate answer. Boiling an egg is a... Great thinking. Chemical change is the right choice. change of state is?
Great job. Reversible change is the accurate answer.
We get sugar from? Nice selection. Sugarcane is the correct and valid answer. Cooked food is the?
You chose chemical change, and it is correct.
New product change? Strong choice. Melting of ice is the right answer.
Iron new substance. Excellent. Rust is a brilliant choice.
Chemical example?
Perfect. Cooking of egg is the correct choice.
We need food for?
Solid response. All of the above is a valid choice.
Curdling milk is?
Clear logic. Your choice slow change is sound and 100% true.
Rolling of that?
Correct. Reversible change is the right answer. Physical change. Well reasoned. No new substance is the correct choice.
Seawater is a?
You got it. Your choice mixture is right.
Water freezing? Good thinking. Physical change is the right answer.
Cooking is.
Nice work. You chose chemical change and it is correct.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format?
What?
Great job. Contact Narayan Changda on Facebook is the accurate answer.